Following Tyler's estate sale, he hops back out with an album that doesn't follow any traditions. The album releases on a Monday. He releases the album at 3 a.m. in California instead of 6 a.m. He has absolutely no features at all on the album, apart from Tizo Touchdown, Childish Gambino, Glorilla, Lil Wayne, and Doechii. Oh yeah, Schoolboy Q as well. And the track 10 is not a pronoun song. The conductor theories seem to be true, from the way that Saint Chroma sounds, from the way that Thought I Was Dead it sounded. It seems like Tyler is really leading the charge, conducting, you know what I mean, that like a sergeant or something like that, as he's pointing. The best visual, like, if you want a visual explanation of what I'm trying to say with all the conducting, the sergeant, all of that, you gotta watch the Saint Chroma music video, as you might have already done. But if you haven't, that's the best explanation I can give you. The inverted ego theories kind of have been debunked, you know, because when Tyler actually released the album as a whole, there was no green writing, which would have been pink if you had inverted the cover. So all of that was gone. There was no all songs written and composed by Tyler or Choma, none of that. So I do think that was debunked. I was like, he's like, oh, they think it's ego inverted. Let me just take it all off. So let's talk about the songs for real. Let's talk about what's the best. You know what I mean? What was the worst song? But not too bad. None of the songs was like 5 out of 10s. You know what I mean? We're going to start at a 7. Spoiler alert. Let me know what your favorite one is. Right now, let me know what your favorite one is. And then see where that ends up at number 1 or any of the 14 placements. At 14, which is unfortunately the worst one, happens to be Judge Judy. Because given the lyrics, the title is corny, T is horny, the recycled lines of a dog tooth, the song structure is always going to hit. And as it does, here comes Donald Glover. And then it off with Panda Orgasms. It's just not it, man. So it's like a 7 out of 10. So here comes the one that should have been a pronoun one. At number 13, we got Tomorrow. No slash in the title is crazy. He delivers an alternative style of singing when talking about his mother and himself aging. He's talking a more mature conversation. His mother wants a grandchild. He has a Rari and silly suits. 7 out of 10. So at number 12, we got the title track, Saint Chroma. Tyler had the intentions of making this album based off what his mother would tell him when he was younger, as he didn't really understand until his recent life. That's why you'll hear Tyler's mother in the intro of this song and a few others. As we're already knowing, Tyler has this ASMR flow, whispering bars at the neck of anyone talking stupid about him. If you wonder what the tribal screaming in the background is, search up tribal a cappella vocals. You'll find it straight away. People are disappointed there's no Frank Ocean on his birthday, but we do get Daniel Caesar in the background. There is elements when the beat explodes that remind me of the brown stains off a cherry bomb. Tyler has great song structure and great use of repetition when he does the It's crazy while Saint Chroma specifically is talking about don't dim your light and can you feel the light, but the whole album feels black and white if you don't have synesthesia. So maybe, like, it wouldn't surprise me if Tyler does. There's a lot of people, like I used to say that I have synesthesia just because I would see the colors on the cover or the music video. And that's not true. That's not what synesthesia is. Or synesthesia? Synesthesia? I don't know. I don't have it though. Number 11, this should be. Yeah. So just before we reach the top 10, we get Hey Jane. That ends up being an 8 out of 10. The percussion makes me think about early Tyler, Bastard Door Goblin. It's similar to Wilshire. I don't know if this is better or as good yet. It's like a more accessible version of it. Like if Wilshire is too long for you, you should start with Hey Jane. It's more concise. There's a lot more happening with the instrumental. So I feel like if you prefer to listen to this before you want to listen to Wilshire, that's completely fine. Ain't nobody gonna shoot you for it, bro. But no pun intended, because now we're in the top 10 with I Killed You. And if you hadn't made I Ain't Got Time, then I don't think we would have got to this. I don't think we would have got I Killed You. Because there's percussion, there's a lot of Latin American influences with brass, the way that the guitar sounds, the 808s, they're distorted. That's not a Latin, but that is an element that you will find on I Ain't Got Time. What this song does end up doing better than I Ain't Got Time is when it comes to the switch up, instead of slowing down the instrumental, we get these chords that are just great, man. the harmonies, and I'm starting to feel like Tyler was less focused on making real songs on this album and more shooting for ideas that whatever he was thinking about, he put it down. And that's what a Chromakopia is. There's no tradition. We're not really trying to do any songs, although when we get to like the top 5, you'll see a lot more songs happening. But right now we're closer to the bottom as we make our way to the top. With number 9, this song is wild, but it ends up at number 9. It's Sticky, where Tyler samples Justin Timberlake, McDonald's jingle. It's as weird as some of the songs off of Cherry Bomb, but it makes it uniquely weird. As it features Glorilla, as it features Sexy Red, as it features 8 bars from Lil Wayne. And I feel like at this point, if there's no pronoun songs, it's gotta be Lil Wayne. I'm grateful for the beat switch because the McDonald's sample was just too strange, man. And the switch up is way better. Number 8, I think we're at number 8. This is Like Him. Tyler's mother talks about how Tyler really resembles his father, you know what I mean? He's got all the features of his father. All the features. So then Tyler starts singing about looking like him, but he's saying like, looking like who? You know what I mean? Because he never met his dad. The use of the theremin, keeping in mind, Tyler said that he feels like he's chasing a ghost. So with the theremin, it gives like these spooky Halloween vibes. And it's approaching the times. You know what I mean? It's a few days away. So I can appreciate the musicality behind the theremin, especially after saying that he's chasing the ghost. It's like a haunted house vibe. It's a Tyler the Creator song. We was gonna get a Sim 5 away. Might as well do something like that, man. So now we got Balloon. I appreciate the DJ Luke sample because I Wanna Rap was probably, it was one of the most streamed songs by me this year. It's definitely on my Apple replay at the end of it. This song sounds like what Welcome to the Disco would have sounded like had Chromakopia been replaced by Welcome to the Disco. Though she has questionable lyrics in her verse, but it might be as good as the Monster verse from Nicki Minaj. I don't know. There's a lot of vocal inflections. That might be where I'm going wrong. You know what I mean? It could be like recently biased or recency biased. But it genuinely could be as good as Nicki Minaj's verse off of Monster. And the song isn't longer than 2 minutes, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. But what's the rest of it? So now we got Ratata. This song is aggressive and braggadocious as T does best. Talking about his personal flex, such as his car, that Ratatas, when he starts the engine up. This is the first song on the album I feel can sit nicely within a playlist or an org session. It's not really scaring the hoes, unless your favorite artist is Ed Sheeran. It's very accessible. It is very accessible. If you haven't listened to Tyler before, I can see like you getting into him after listening to a song like Ratata. I feel so zesty every time I say that. I would like to hear what Tyler has to say when it comes to what really inspired him to make Ratata. Because I feel like he would either say something to do with Atlanta or Pharrell Williams. I don't know. It's something like that, but honestly himself, I feel like he would have just came up with that. I feel like he would have just came up with that on like Call Me If You Get Lost. You know what I mean? Right there. I didn't even intend to do that. But Noid, with the help of background vocals from Willow, Tyler explains on why he's really paranoid. You know, he can't really live his day-to-day life without feeling some type of anxiety about it. Even though he said he's never had anxiety, like Sam Bowie or whatever, you know what I mean? He's never had anxiety on albums like Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost. This time he's embracing, man, I do. He's saying that he's paranoid, man. He's not even trying to do the whole word. The track has elements of rock and hip-hop in a way you would have to get used to how it sounds to really understand how you feel about it. I ended up liking it. I feel like when he goes, he'd rather do that than regret hearing pew pew. Every time that pew pew line comes, I just like do some type of move to it, man. You know what I mean? It always captivates me or grabs me when it happens, man. And what I think on concept is that the first half is Tyler talking about why he is paranoid, but then the second half is really how he feels about it. Here comes some 9 out of 10s when we talk about I Hope You Find Your Way Home, which is the last song on the album. Tyler wraps up the album with all the conversation and topics that he was really talking throughout the album itself. I do feel like his mum ends up being the DJ drama of Chromakopia. The lead at the end makes me feel like I should really take my time when it comes to creating my own music, which I love for that reason. And I feel like it's a great way to end the album. You know what I mean? There is some type of chorus. It's more like a hook though. The verses, obviously I said it was Tyler talking about what he was already talking about, just wrapping it up this time. Throughout the album, you've got to notice DJ Drama isn't there, but his mother is. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mother Okoma, not really Okoma, I think Smith. Mother the creator, man. Let's shout out to Mama Creator, whatever. And Thought I Was Dead also was a 9 out of 10. But Tyler, in fact, is still alive. Charging in with Schoolboy Q, who told us that this album was good. That second Tyler verse is hard. He does end up saying, like, white boys making this shit and y'all mad at me, you can suck my, you know what I mean? He ends up saying that, but I feel like he's more talking about what Lil Mau is doing, what Ian is doing, but I can understand people being confused about what Ian is doing. I'm not the biggest fan of Ian myself. I just don't think he's too bad. I don't think he is Lil Mau type of bad. I would say that if Ian ends up caring about what he's really making, he could take it to another level, only if he really cares about what he's doing though. If he does end up being a Lil Mau type of guy, that's unfortunate. Because these type of people really only care about the business factor of it. And what ends up happening is, have you ever listened to, I've not listened to this verse, but have you ever listened to, what's his name? Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro did a verse on a Tom McDonald song. So that's two names you don't want to be listening to or get caught listening to, because it's just dumb. You don't want to be listening to no Tom McDonald or, unfortunately, Lil Mau, which I think is a better example of maybe people that aren't really trying to do rap, but see it as the business side of things, but don't care about the craft. They just made it big in the industry, as Mabu's father is actually a label executive or something like that, or he has his own label. To make matters worse, on one of Lil Mau's debut songs, he talks about Virgil's death in a disrespectful way. So I'm saying, man, Ian isn't that bad, you know what I mean? So I can tolerate Ian, and I would like to see him care more. But I feel like that's what I'm trying to say. That's what Tyler's trying to say, even though I'm trying to say, to be fair. Like, care more. If you're really trying to get into the rap industry, care more. If you're not, I feel like Lil Mau might be a great label executive or something like that when he's older with more experience. That's fine, as long as he does it right. But if he doesn't really care about the craft, go somewhere else, you know what I mean? Because Tyler actually appreciates the likes of an Eminem or a Mac Miller, man. That's what that is, man. I love Tyler's flows. I like what Schoolboy Q did on his verse. Song's fire, 9 out of 10. I do actually like that song, and even when it was just watching the video and not really listening to the song in full, I knew this one was going to go crazy. I ride with it, 9 out of 10, of course. So that was top 3, actually. The last two end up being 10 out of 10s for now. I don't know if they can't go any higher. I don't know if they'll take a step down. But let's talk about them being 10 for 10s for now, you know what I mean? Let's talk about Take Your Mask Off. These soulful songs with the hard verses is a better genre than the pronoun songs he was doing. He's talking about these industry rappers putting a mask on, even though Vince Staples said it was cool for you to be a bitch. You have a good heart. You know what I mean? Me too, man. Me too. Like I said, it does seem like ideas more than actual songs on the album. Take Your Mask Off is definitely a song with the correct structure, the chorus, and in this case, it does follow a good concept. Even though, like, it's not important anywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be a concept every single song. But in this case, it matters because this is what he was really talking about, man. And he follows through with it great. When I first heard the snippet, I thought Al Green made contributions. But it wasn't Al Green. It actually ended up being Daniel Caesar again, making more of a stronger contribution. than what he was doing on Saint Chroma, which is enough said, you know what I mean? Because Saint Chroma, his contributions were delivered great. I feel like he takes the next step up when he does what he does on Take Your Mask Off. And having a niche, I know Tyler definitely does have a niche. It's not a problem, but what are you getting out of it? And in this case, he's getting the most he can. Even more so on what I said was number one. So number one, I feel like this is everyone's number one too, depending on what you're looking for. No, I did see a couple people saying Darling I just in comment sections. I listened to the album twice. One for my first time listen. The second one was reviewing the tracks. And I still stuck with Darling I. The song is ill from the concept intro, telling us what the song is really about. Then the drums come in 1000% because Teasel Touchdown ends up being a feature. Even though there's no features, it's Teasel Touchdown, giving us what he always gives us when he's at his best, man. You're at your best, but when Tyler comes around, man, you're at the level you're never going to see again without being in that zone. This might be one of Tyler's best songs in his whole discography, never mind the whole album. If it's not in your list at the end of the year, if the album isn't in your list at the end of the year, this song definitely will be. And as I said, it still follows the niche, but it's at 100%, given full potential, given full effort into what he's trying to do, man. The chorus is catchy, the verses are tough. That's why it's a 10 out of 10. Great chorus, great verses, all that. Fantastic. That's number one. From the total of each track individually, added up the scores, divided by 14, I give it an 8.2 out of 10. With the album experience, I gave that a 9.5 out of 10. And if we add them together, divide that by 2, it's an 8.9 out of 10. Depending on how I feel in December, Chromakopia might not be the album of the year, but definitely, if I come across it on vinyl, you know what I mean? If I come across it on vinyl, I will definitely cop it. I hope that Chromakopia has a big effect on my 2025, the same way Call Me If You Get Lost has a big effect on my 2022. That's what I want, man. We're gonna see how this goes down. That's Colin. That's Chromakopia. That's out. That's like, comment, subscribe before you go. You know what I'm saying? What did your favorite song on the album end up? What was it, man? Let me know. But I'm out.